Boom, we have the Akoin team back with us with a special presentation. Moderating this one, he has been in the NFT space for quite some time, an investor and a blogger for the last 3 years, founded dlcblogger.com. Please welcome Maddie to the party and welcome back to the Akoin team. Maddie will be moderating this one, so welcome to the show and the floor is all yours, sir.
Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. This segment is going to be probably my favorite segment. NFTs has been many of our lives for the last 3 years, and it's kind of blowing up. So it's really awesome to see the Akoin team join in. But before we kind of talk about the platform, I would love to kind of explore the mindset and the aha moment when NFTs came up. Just how did that fit with the Akoin ideology? Just, how did that fit in the overall vision?
I know John's joining back. I'm going to speak for both of us. We've been with Akoin as a cryptocurrency and platform in this space for several years now, and NFTs hit the market. And John, who's been in entertainment for 20 plus years, and Akon, obviously, from a music perspective, everyone started reaching out, and it hit all of us. There's a level of trust they have with us. It's a very complicated space. I know everyone who's in it feels like, oh, I figured it out. NFT is fine, but we're trying to bring it more mainstream, and the artists in particular really want that trusted hand-holding experience, which we really wanted to offer. We talk about an artist-first ethos in terms of our Akoin NFT company and launch, so that, again, it's end-to-end working with the artist to create not just the initial launch, but also the long-tail strategy. How is this something that's going to be sustainable, not just after the first drop, and how can we do this with them ongoing? So really advisorily working with the client. And at the same time, you're going to meet on the call here, Kavon, who is the CTO of our technology platform, Reza, who's our head of blockchain and all things crypto. And that trust also came from knowing that we would bring the best technology to bear, right? So you need to be, Maddie's such a fast moving space. You need best of breed thinking, and it's changing every minute. I mean, I think Kavon, from this morning alone, we tweaked and refined so many things because it was just hearing from the market. And so the artists, our clients, trust, again, that we can handle all of those affairs. So the fun, as John joins back, he'll share a lot with you around the actual number and types of artists that have been coming to us and beginning to develop their campaigns. Mile a minute, but just a joy.
Yeah, it does move really, really fast. And I think everyone wants in, but it's also one of those spaces that is so new, like blockchain technology is so new. The whole idea of selling digital something is very new. So putting that all together, I think we're all in a very challenging space, and it's kind of fun doing it all together. How, Akoin NFT being the platform, I'd love to know the background on that and what it is for creators. And, is it a global thing? Is it, how is it different to other NFT platforms out there?
So if you don't mind, I'm actually going to pivot a bit to Kavon, because I know we broke up this NFT into 2 segments. We've also got our marketing and brand team coming on next. So I just want to give some shout out to, because to us, it started at the base. We needed a really good, and that is what differentiates us. It is about the technology base. So if I could spin it over to Kavon, because I want him to gush about that a bit.
Absolutely. When it comes to the technology side, one of the interesting things that I think we've all kind of noted here is how quickly this landscape is evolving. And so one of the things that we've really prided ourselves on is being as modular as we can so that we can take advantage of some of these emerging trends and technologies in as timely a fashion as we can. So some of the things that we're actually going to be talking about later on here, so I won't steal too much thunder, is actually some of the elements that we're exploring for carbon neutrality when it comes to minting some of these NFTs, as well as exploring some of the more innovative solutions that we can leverage some token-gated economies and ecosystems to be able to cultivate not only just content consumption mediums and assets for people to be able to purchase, but also engagement opportunities, ways to really be able to dive in and have an opportunity to engage with the creator and artist through a virtual environment that is gated behind the actual purchase and holdings of these NFTs. These introduce so many different things that we can start to explore, like staking mechanisms that allow users to be able to gain access to exclusive offerings, as well as being able to leverage some of these assets in less collectible formats and more so focused on actual economic development opportunities, such as John was alluding to in the previous segment. So, we really could not be more thrilled for these explorations and to be working with the Akoin team, who really has just been so innovative and so open to exploring some of these more nuanced experiments that we brought to the table. And it really allowed us to be able to shine and I think create this incredible platform that not only distinguishes itself from a technology perspective, but also, as Lynn was alluding to, this really intrinsic artist first ethos that has really been brought to the table, where, as she mentioned, really working with the artist from conception to ideation to execution of the asset, and ensuring that we work with them through every stage of the life cycle of the asset, including into the long term and the secondary resale. So there you have it.
And Rez, I feel you need to add, because you're our NFT guru, and you brought Kavon and ourselves together. So how have you felt watching all of this go down? What makes us special, Rez?
I definitely think it's the more organic route that we've been taking, and again, the whole artist first ethos, as well as actually. I'm a bit of a NFT snob. I'm big on metadata not being stored on a centralized server. I know that's not unique to our platform, but it is something that not all platforms do. And I think it's extremely important. I'm not interested in an NFT that would disappear if the company went out of business, for example. And I'm millions of dollars NFTs that would disappear if the company that held the drop were to go out of business, for example. So that's definitely something I'm really proud of that we're doing. But beyond that, it's just the focus on making real organic campaigns with these artists and really finding people who have been consistently putting out quality output for long periods of time, not, just like the easy low-hanging fruits of the world, which in Akon circle, there are many low-hanging fruits. But we've been really wanting to make a good impact into the NFT community. And I think that we're starting to do exactly that.
No, that's awesome. I love what I just heard. I love hearing NFTs being more than just the art, because as you said, Kavon, I kind of see NFTs as being a ticket. They're a ticket to an experience, a lifelong experience. And it totally is a differentiating factor if you guys are thinking about the artist first and a long-term sustainable career, because you're selling an art piece, yes, but it's on a technology layer, as you said, and is some of us tech people are nerding out on, is it's just this piece of technology you can apply across the board, virtually, physically, and everything. So I think it's a big deal that you're thinking like that. Where did that thought process come into mind from? Was that from seeing the art drops and seeing there's something missing, or kind of just wanting to explore more that can be done with the technology?
Go, John.
Oh, please.
Oh, John, do we have you? Oh, he might have bad reception. Go, Kavon. Sorry, I just.
Well, all I have to say is, go for Kavon. Yeah.
Well, I'd actually say that it's a combination of both. Frankly, first and foremost, I'd really like to just acknowledge the team that's here on the line right now. I mean, these are genuinely some of the most forward-thinking and innovative people I've ever had the pleasure of working with. And so, very much so, I think a lot of these ideas were organically kind of just drawn from us having these conversations internally and thinking through, what have we seen in the ecosystems to date? How do we feel about the true potential of this technology? As you were alluding to, this isn't just a collectible. These can introduce so many different engagement experiences that, especially during the COVID era, have been rendered obsolete just due to our social distancing. And so, I think that it really was a combination of all of the above, looking at the ecosystems, paying attention to some of the trends that we've been seeing, and then ideating amongst ourselves, what would we like to see surface? How do we see this ecosystem evolving over time? And how can we really help foster that development? And again, diving back into Reza's earlier point, not just by focusing on these huge artists, of which, Akon can there's no shortage of, but really starting with some of these lower artists that are so excited and so talented and so amazing with the work that they do, but just haven't received that same level of recognition. And so cultivating an ecosystem that can exist in perpetuity, where, as Reza alluded to, we're storing as much of this metadata on IPFS as we possibly can, and with the expectation that we're going to be storing it all relatively shortly. The idea is to really be able to cultivate some of these ecosystems and then see where those take us. So that's a little bit of a long-winded answer.
You did mention, it looks like you guys are pretty strong on the tech side of things and metadata. Like, people that are saying metadata, that they're on the right direction, because they are thinking long-term. They are thinking, well, if these platforms go out of business, if our service, a meteor hits them, how do these NFTs, do they secure their value, right? And are you guys building on decentralized applications? And if so, like how important is metadata in terms of communicating how important it is to people. Because I think like the normal person understands art and digitization of art, but the security of art is like a foreign concept, right?
Reza,
Go, Reza.
please.
Yeah.
Go for it. Open question.
So I think a good way of explaining that is really going into the core value of NFTs, and that is the fact that they're non-fungible, and that means that they can have a unique owner. Because if 2 dimes, for example, are fungible coins, like you can exchange one dime for another, and no one cares if you trade dimes. Really, you put a dime into a bank account and you withdraw a dime, you're probably not going to get the same dime back. You can't say, I want that exact dime that I put in. But non-fungible means that everything is unique, and when something is unique, when you bring the ability to be unique digital onto the blockchain, that brings the ability to prove ownership. And if the metadata, which is a part of what creates it, part of what makes it unique, is on a centralized server, then essentially the core value of the NFT is, or not necessarily threatened, but it's at risk of the potential of that company going out of business, or just deciding to shut their service down. And so that, I think, is like the real benefit or drawback of not doing it.
Yeah, no, it is for real. It is definitely a drawback, and I think as we go mainstream, it seems like people don't care, which is normal because we're at a space of blockchain, and blockchain is supposed to secure everything and make everything decentralized. But anyway, I don't know how much time we have, so we can quickly just jump into the roadmap of the future of the Akoin NFT and what is it going to be at the moment. I think you guys have done a launch already, or one's in the works, but if there is a launch or you have one, love to run through like how it went.
And Maddie, you're going to kill me, but we're on the fly. So I'm having Mike Tinkle just join us because I know we got our sessions, please. So we're going to just extend this line so we don't have to leave and move into a few fun. Yeah, I figured it's easier for all of us. I don't want to lose anyone. Before jumping into roadmap, also, I did want to mention something. You talked about experience, and it just got me thinking.
Hey, Lynn, somebody needs to let Mike in, so he's texting saying, "Let's let in."
Yeah, I'm telling Erhan and team. I think it should be happening any minute. This is a bit about roadmap. I'll just add this while we're trying to get Mike in. I think we have him now. This is a good time for Mike to join because we were talking about.
As I'm going to drop off within about 5 minutes, I'm going to just say a couple of things and you guys can add to it as you will. We have a lot of exciting developments. Our thing that I'm most excited about personally is not only best in class tech, but best in class content and creative. For us, it's not just an athlete's a highlight reel. You're about to see some things that we're doing with athletes that will be very, very unexpected. The same kinds of things with people from music and film and television, because art throughout is a collaborative endeavor. And we believe NFTs offer the opportunity for a huge amount of collaboration, much of it not been able to be imagined or executed but without this mashup combination of technology and creativity. So I'm gonna let Lynn and Mike and Kavon and Reza talk about that some more in many different ways. But some of our roadmap is things that you might expect from us, but an awful lot of it is stuff that no one's seen yet,
John,
both technologically and artistically.
Before you leave, I feel you have to explain what's happening on the renewable energy side. Kavon hinted to it, but I know the audience would love to hear just a hint of that evolution.
A hint. All right. Well, the long and the short is we're in the midst working closely with AkoinNFT and their CEO, Brandon Martin, who's part of our extended team, to build out multiple facilities that will have crypto mining powered entirely by renewable energy. All are being built to be big enough so that it'll actually. So from renewable, not only will we cover all mining activities, but we'll offset other people that aren't. So we're excited about what's happening in that regard and how. And it's going to be revealed over the course of the next 30, 45 days, the first facility in the United States. And there are multiple being rolled out around the world, but we're looking to lead by example. It's actually not only necessary for the world impactfully, but it's actually good business too. And we'll lead the charge in just proving that out so everybody can rinse and repeat and get away from, some of the less ecologically sound ways that energy has been generated. There's no reason why the entire industry can't run on renewables, and we'll lead the charge by just saying, hey, come join us. Here's how it's done. It's good business. It's necessary for the planet. And again, our partners and colleagues at AkoinNFT have been working at this for years, and we're just about to roll it out, paired with the Renuvi renewable energy storage systems developed by some amazing scientists from the Department of Energy who have evolved all kinds of things in both storage and generation. So coming soon to a computer/mining station near you. All righty, that's what I have to say about that. Yep.
Awesome. Thanks, John. I think we're going to transition to the next segment.
And we're going to stay on.
We're going to talk about artists and we're
staying on this line.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. So we can get right into it, I think. I think the next segment is really important, actually. I think especially talking community and marketing and the social impact about this space. I feel like before we talk about this segment, I just wanted to dive into like how important is community to an artist and the connection and the digitization of this. What does it mean to have that community now digital in social media and all that sort of stuff?
Hey, look, community is what an artist thrives on, right? They need an audience. They need people to support them. They need people that they see they are giving joy to and are communicating with and listening to. So that's really important for us. And we see that we've got not just, an opportunity here, but we have something that we can do for really the whole category, because we know that the artists we're working with, led by Akon, have an incredible mainstream audience. What we can do with that mainstream audience is not only introduce them to the world of crypto, but introduce them to the world of NFTs and digital collectibles, helping them not just get them, but helping them establish wallets, helping them learn best practices, helping them find the best partners, and getting that audience together and introducing this to them in a way that is comfortable and allows them to participate with their favorite artists, we think is just a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah, I want to add to that. Please go to AkoinNFT.io. We've got a few hours left of our first launch, and this is a really proudful moment. We got to launch. It's a smaller launch, a really curated artist called Wrapped LA. Hope you got a chance to check it out, Maddie. But what Mike just brought up really came to us loud and clear. We're going out to, Akon did a lot about this on his socials, and the feedback we got was everyone's excited, but they maybe were just learning about blockchain and crypto. And now they're like, NFTs, this is a whole other, even I get tripped up, and Rez and Kavon will be like, this is a piece of cake, you got to do this, that, and the other. And once you do it once, you get it. But there is absolutely this training opportunity. So you're going to see from us over the next few weeks some really cool community training, so that not just Akon's audience or Akoin audience can really, again, come into this new NFT ecosystem and opportunity, and to become collectors, and how fun that is. But then as we work with every artist, we can really help train and educate each of their communities. We're all just in too deep, so taking that step back to say, let's educate, let's bring them in, because our system crashed like within minutes because we had so many hitting it for the first couple minutes. Kavon got it back up quickly, but it's because there was so much excitement, right? But then there was the questions, how to route in this environment. And that's just, for everyone in the NFT world, big opportunity.
You'll see us inviting people and teaching them what to do. And we're excited about that because it's a whole new world for everybody. And to bring new folks into it is a real honor for us.
Did you feel NFTs made that bridge to crypto easier? Or do you think people are more confused?
I think it's both. I think certainly the world of NFTs is easier for people to comprehend from the collectible standpoint and the connection with their artist. But there are, the complexities aren't that complex. You just need to know what they are. Once you understand it, it's like, oh, okay, 30 seconds, great, I can do this. But, which browser will work? Is this mobile? Is this laptop? Is this desktop? How do I get this? How do I set up? We can help you with that. And it's just, getting people comfortable and then into the space. Once they're in the NFT space, they're at home with their artists, so they're happy.
And Maddie, I think your question is spot on. That where we see this on the news. It is absolutely bringing people into the excitement of crypto and blockchain in this way, because they can have something, it's collectible, it's tangible. I think the gap with crypto is like no one knew maybe what they could do with it, right? We're deployed at Acoin in Kenya. That was our last segment. So people are using the cryptocurrency in Kenya. It's the currency of the city. But broad America, broad international, that may not be the case. So I think Mike's exactly right. It's a little bit of both, but absolutely it's bringing mainstream in. They want to get there. So sometimes we have to baby step everyone a little bit. I know I did even for myself. So that's a joyous, very quick roadmap ahead for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just to add a little bit to that, I think that was spot on. One of the really interesting things, and having been in the blockchain space, for so many years, is having watched this, this technology become more readily acceptable by mainstream audiences. And what we've very much seen with these NFTs is that now there is a strong incentive for these mainstream audiences to start to have an understanding of how does this technology actually work? How can I participate with this? One of the things that was increasingly relevant, as we started launching these, is we started to realize, like, wow, people are still trying to understand how a MetaMask wallet works, how these extensions work, how to actually populate your wallet and fund your accounts. These are some of the things that, as Lynn alluded to, we have the curse of knowledge. For us, this is all top of mind. But the reality is that there's an enormous amount of education that needs to happen. And thank God we now have a medium, NFTs, that is providing this incredibly compelling incentive for these mainstream audiences to begin to understand. So we really see this as an amazing opportunity, not only for the NFT space, but also for the overarching blockchain space, to really start to get these mainstream audiences a little more familiar with the underlying technology and then its potential and its capabilities. And so, I just wanted to add that little piece there.
Yeah, it is awesome for us to all see. I think those that have been in blockchain and crypto for a while, telling our friends about crypto and currencies, it kind of hits the spot only when it goes up and down in value. But NFTs and what they can do, it's just like you can just suddenly talk to them about all these other use cases, right? Collectibles and how their favorite brands and artists are getting in. And that totally drives an interest without the price action. And I think that's so important. I feel like now we're moving into this mainstream, regardless of the volatility of crypto. I feel like we may have an industry that sticks and flourishes. And I think that's an interesting kind of pivot we'll take as an industry. But really wanted to dive a little bit into the ethos of the artists on your platform, because I think what we're seeing now is, big name artists come in, drop their NFTs and use and leverage their social platforms, which they've worked very hard to build, and that's fair. But obviously new artists, very, very talented, super talented. How is a platform like yours going to help them kind of launch from, not really having that much of a social presence, but just being insanely valuable as an artist? What's the kind of the benefit there?
Let me just jump in for 2 seconds before I sign off, because I'm about to actually walk into a meeting to sign yet another artist, a very well-known, very visible painter, and more, who's an important part of our ecosystem and some of our mashups. There are multiple parts of what we're building that are essentially much broader ecosystems, more akin to rookie cards of people rising up, and ways to use the NFT technology to help people get visibility, to help fund their rise, whether they're in sports or music particularly. We're working with several different companies and much broader ecosystems. There's one I can just say really clearly. So we're working with Kevin Garnett, the NBA superstar, just as he's being inducted into the Hall of Fame. But he started something called Hoop It Up, that's a youth basketball league. And he's also got a youth soccer league. And we'll be doing NFTs with and around those players in multiple ways. But for those people rising up, again, it's a way to generate some revenue, buy a new set of kicks, or get some visibility, or get a picture arm in arm with one of their superstar mentors. And it's a memento. It's a way to raise money. It's a way to raise awareness about their aspirations and what they're doing, again, in sports. And for us, it's sports and music most particularly. But this is meant to be very mainstream, very accessible in an ecosystem that's very plug and play for any people rising up, and not just, in the US, but in Africa, in Asia, and globally in South America. So lots of things coming. There's a bigger ecosystem that we're in the midst of building out that'll start in Mexico and spread every place south from there in conjunction with some content creation. But these are meant to be very easy to use, plug and play things. And who knows who rises up from that, but we cheer them all. Everyone's an artist, as Mike Tankel will tell you the second I get off the line. Mike, there's your segue.
But to add one thing before Mike does, I know he'll add on to this, something that really excites me. We all saw, models of Kickstarter and Patreon, and this wave to me says, we want artists that can do this every quarter, every month, right? It doesn't need to be, we will have the Kevin Garnett's, we will have the big drops, but we're going to have a lot of these really highly curated, beautiful sets. We're going to work with them, as John mentioned, to do mashups if they need helps on the design work, if they need music, right? So we're going to pull in elements that make their campaign even stronger. We're going to help them find where their sweet spot communities are, because someone really likes cats and somebody really likes music and somebody really likes Fritos. I mean, whatever it be, we're going to find where those people exist. And something I just wanted to add when I think about the sweet sauce and the elements that we can add to help a campaign succeed. We also announced in our last campaign that we have AkoinNFT galleries that are launching in June. The first one is in Miami. Lucky winners, if you go to AkoinNFT.io right now, you'll be able to come to the gallery. 5 winners and 3 will actually be able to display their NFT in the gallery. And why this is important, Maddie, you spoke about experience early on. So I have this NFT. Now I can go share it with the world at a gallery, at a star-studded event, and people could bid on it. I mean, this is like, yes, we all want to experience these things together even more. So we're adding that into each of our campaigns. And again, starting in Miami, we'll be in Las Vegas, New York, and then global. So this is going to be a big element of what we bring to those artists to help their campaigns not just succeed, but again, sustain and come back for more.
I love it. So physical galleries, obviously.
Yeah,
guys,
physical.
There's like digital and physical galleries these days.
Metaverse too. There'll be VR and Metaverse also, but the physical galleries where you'll come to celebrate.
This was an amazing day. To end this off, thank you guys so very, very much. It's been an exciting session, exciting news from the Akoin team. Thank you, Lynn, and all of this panel and all of the team at Akoin for joining us here for that last session. We really appreciate it. So thank you very much, guys.